Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Action Comics issue 5, Free Fall. Now, as you know, this issue is meant to cover the return of Lord St. Tennis, who was going to be someone far from the future and a magic user. Now, pretty much the story is meant to take place during the pre-Crisis comics, which was more of the weird sort of Superman Bronze Age story. And let's get on the story. And the cover mainly has Superman being split in two, which is kind of like Superman 3. So it starts off how Superman, as Clark Kent and the others, hear shaking from the ground, which is actually the mole's henchman drilling through the Galaxy Contact building. And we kind of see how Clark sees to his shock, saying, "They're right, it is the mole. Sinking the Galaxy building just as he threatened." And so he has to quickly get out, while Jimmy Olsen can't use the signal watch, as Clark took it for repairs. So of course, flies out to deal with the mole. Something happens that sends him back into medieval times, and sees that the locals are building something. And of course, bounces right on it, and falls down. So of course he realises something's not right, so they try to kill him, despite his steel skin, as they believe he's some sort of demon. And we see how Superman realises that Lord Satanus has taken over the village, and him saying, "Why waste your time on these fools, Man of Steel? Then I was right, Lord Satanus. I am the one who brought you here. I am the one you wish to see." So of course Superman realises that it's not the real thing, and tries to use magic to kind of take down Superman. And keep in mind, Superman can't do magic, and has to use his wits and cunning to take down a dangerous attacking tree. And eventually it ends up turning to a giant dragon, which Superman has to avoid its laser beams, and of course gets hit. And we see how Superman gets wrapped up around, realizing he can't break through, ends up being taken to the village, his kingdom. And we see how Superman meets Lord Satanus, who points out about their last encounter, how his wife had found the Rainstone, and both of them race off to find it. And of course, turns out his wife was close to get it, but Lord Satanus says, "Back, woman, the gem is mine," and points out that she was the one who killed her father, and says, "There is mine now, Serene. Perhaps you should beg for your miserable life. You may hold the jewel, Satanus, but you have not yet trapped its power. And until that deed is done, your power is to still no more terrible than my own." And so we see him being dragged off to hell, and we see how Lord Satanus worked out a deal that took him to the village that he enslaved, and nursed him back to health. When he got better, he killed off most of the locals with poisonous snakes, which Superman's not pleased about, saying, "You killed them just like that? Satanus, you're filth." And so plans to use Superman as a battery for his kind of giant kind of satellite thing. And of course, it will bounce off it and transfer the powers off from Superman to him. And we see how Lord Satanus plans to use Superman as a battery, but finds out something is interfering with his powers. And we see how Serene shows up to kind of take control of Superman, and hopefully to sort of end this for good. And of course, we see how their powers end up splitting apart the two Supermen. And this is the story. So I think this story is pretty basic. Yeah, it's one of those sort of campy, but kind of over-the-top Bronze Age stories. And keep in mind, the Silver Age and Bronze Age of DC Comics were a weird one. But I think the story still deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.